So I'm getting an image, and the image is of a very beautifully bright green lichen on a rock. And it's up close, and you can see all the fine grained detail of like all the dark and light spots of it, the texture of it, and it is thriving on this rock. It is so happy. It wants you to know that. And then basically it zooms out, and it's a giant mountain, and it's covered in lichen, and you can actually see it from a distance. Like you can see the lichen from hundreds, maybe even thousands of feet away, because there is such a pattern of these different bright lichens on this face of this mountain. All right, let's see what the message is. As a human, you sometimes look at a mountain and you think that it is indestructible. You think that it's been there for so long and that it will be there forever. And you look at boulders and you think of them as very solid and very static, and that they don't really have that much of a life. But if you really look at the biology of what is happening, where do you think that soil comes from? Soil is biologically made through the process of weathering of boulders, of rocks. This is the minerals that go into the soil, and these are the same minerals that go into the food that you eat through the process of photosynthesis. And so we would like to remind you of this strength of breaking down what feels like it is impenetrable. For that is what we do. We break down what appears to you to be impenetrable. And so think about your world and where there is an impediment, where there is a boulder, where there is something so large that you think that will always be there, that will never be different, that will always be just the way it is. It will never change. Think in your life to anything that feels insurmountable, and notice that there is, in the edges of your mind, there is what we would call lichen. These are new awarenesses, new understandings, new consciousnesses, new thoughts, and you are a receiver for these new awarenesses. And so if you allow yourself to think of anything that feels hard in your life, anything that feels impenetrable, and we ask you to consider for a moment asking for the consciousness of lichen to come in and to start to soften the edges. For we break down impenetrable surfaces. For we work that detail for you that you think is insurmountable, and allow us to show you the edges of what you are seeing as impenetrable, so that we can get just a little bit of porosity. And when we just get a little bit of porosity into that surface, and we get a little groove going, and we get some new ideas and new awarenesses into that impenetrable object, what happens then is that nature is so abundant, the water will come from the sky and it will work into those crevices, and it will open them up even more. And you drink water every day. So this is something that you can play with in your mind, is the consciousness of lichen. And ask us to come in wherever you think something is too challenging, too difficult to tackle on your own, and ask to see what are the edges that could be weathered away, so to speak. What are the edges that could become a little bit more porous? For once the edges become porous, and once the whole becomes porous, the entire boulder can become dust, can become soil. And what's beautiful about soil is that is when you get to plant your next round of seeds. We bless you and leave you with that.